What's up, guys? Today we're talking about the Slinger. This is a knife from StatGear, little flipper. Pretty cool, I like it. I got all three of these at the same time. There's three different color variations. This one is blacked out. There's also a gray with blue accents, all right, which is really nice. Probably my favorite coloration. All right, and these have stonewash finishes on it. If I can get the light to hit that right, you can probably see those marks on there. If you don't know, stonewash is basically tumbled, so there's millions of little tiny scratches already on there, so you don't have to worry about scratching up your blade. Very good at hiding scratches, probably one of the best, or my favorite I should say, not really the best, but definitely a personal favorite for user EDCs, so you don't see that scratching. And then also this one is the blue frame with the gold accents, which is also very nice. It's funny because blue is not really my favorite color at all. It's probably one of my least favorite colors, but when it comes to knives, some of the blues are just really vibrant, so I tend to gravitate towards them. I've always liked the color green. I like red, orange. I mean, I like pretty much every color. Blue was definitely bottom of the list, but I don't know, as I get older, because I've avoided blue my whole life, I guess I like it now. But anyway, so I decided to use the all black one simply because I was wondering about how the finish would hold up on the blade, and it was absolutely perfect. I cut a ton of stuff with this knife since having these, and I've had these months and months on end now. They're nothing new, and I got these when they first came out. But even though there's rub marks, there's no actual scratches, all right? So the finish is not really wearing very easily at all, which is good to know. Also, if you already noticed, there's no pocket clip on this. I did take the pocket clip off, and we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. So let me move these out of the way. So the very first thing I want to mention is the pocket clip, all right? The pocket clip sits like this, as you saw on the other ones. When I first started using it, I EDC'd it like this, and after the first day, I decided I want to take the pocket clip off. There's two reasons. First of all, when I take it off, it totally changes the knife. It's super slim, really nice. I mean, obviously, you have the advantage with the pocket clip of clipping to the pocket, which we're all pretty used to. It wasn't a huge deal for me to just slip it in the pocket, all right? So this basically just sat in the bottom of my pocket. Yeah, it floated around, bumped against some of the other gear, but I didn't really mind that too much. It is way more comfortable, in my opinion, without the pocket clip. All right, we'll grab one of these models again. With it, it's not like a huge deal. It's just I did get the tip of this poking into my palm just because of its size. All right, so I did get a little bit of a hot spot there, as well as on this very edge right here, okay? You can see, but if I just get a normal grip here and slowly remove my finger, you can see my fingers buried in that. All right, so right around this area, it was just a thin edge, just wasn't very comfortable. So that's ultimately why I decided to take the pocket clip off. And when I did, it obviously got rid of that problem. Now, after a couple days of this floating around inside the pocket, EDCing it, I realized that, this fits perfectly in the fifth pocket on jeans, all right, and some other types of pants. All right, with or without the clip, even if you had the pocket clip on there, I would recommend that fifth pocket. It just absolutely fits perfect. Plus, it's out of the way. Now you can dip your hand in your pocket. You don't have to worry about the, your hand rubbing on the edge of your knife, which a lot of people deal with all the time, with that knife clip to the front pocket. So anyway, let's go over some specs. All right, closed here, it is 3 inches. All right, 2.1 inch blade. This is in D2, which is marked on the back. All right, and overall it's 5.1 inches and super lightweight, even though it's all stainless steel construction. Not only is it small, but you can see there's plenty of skeletonization. It's an open frame design, 2.1 ounces. All right, so it is very lightweight, but it feels like a little chunk. If you're familiar with like the Kershaw Cryo, it has that type of feel overall in that it's smaller, but it's kind of chunky, but obviously it's not gonna weigh your pocket down or anything like that. All right, this has a unique clip point blade. I would call it a modified clip point. All right, it is flat grounds. The D2 held up very, very well. Good heat treat on this particular knife. You can see there is a choil down there. All right, so sharpening's easy. Just a little bit of belly here. All right, so it's not gonna be terribly difficult to sharpen. I didn't have to sharpen this, I just kept stropping it up, and it did hold a fantastic edge. All right, you can see it is a Framelock. You can see a lock up there. All right, again, no blade play whatsoever. Very good detent on this. And you can see with the skeletonization here on the bottom is an actual hole, and it's nowhere near that edge. So if you wanted to use this as a lanyard hole, that's what it's there for. All right, the flipper is very good too. It's sticking out just enough. You can tip your finger on there. Pops out every single time. All right, and again, that detent is very nice. It's not gonna accidentally open up in the pocket. You could hear it sucking in there. Almost like a little snap. So, and actually using this, when I used it for lighter duty, I absolutely loved it. 100%, I'm like, this is awesome. It's a fun little knife. I like the design. I like how the handle starts off on this angle and then cuts down. All right, you can see there's a slight, finger twirl because of that. And where your finger locks in and your thumb rests, the blade is on like a downward angle. All right, so it actually makes cutting very nice. It's very comfortable in the hand. But again, for lighter cutting chores. Smaller knives, I tend to use a grip like this. All right, well, I'll choke up on the blade, okay, just kind of nestle the rest of that handle in there. I just have a lot more control than, say, like a grip like this, because I don't have that pinky holder, right? It's just basically a 3-finger grip. Although it's comfortable like this, and you can totally cut like that, you just don't naturally. Naturally, I'm just gonna go like this and kind of choke up, and then I have my edge. When I had to use this harder is when I realized it was a little bit more uncomfortable for the harder cutting tasks. Not because it's small. I've used small knives for extended periods of cutting where I'm putting a lot more pressure. There was one particular situation that stood out to me with this as being very uncomfortable. My wife bought a small little 24-inch TV to put in the bedroom, and the cardboard box that it came in was like a really thick cardboard box, I guess to protect the TV. That makes sense, right? And in using this, first I started with a grip like this, okay? Because here's a rectangular box. What I like to do is just cut down straight. I do a push cut in all 4 corners to, basically make 4 panels. And then I'll, maybe change my grip and just slice through to make strips. Then I'll cut the strips in half, and then I use those to put in the garbage so it's all consolidated. What was happening was immediately I had to use a lot more pressure because it was thicker and it was sharp, all right, freshly stropped up and everything. It wasn't like it was dull or anything. But putting a lot of pressure down, cutting that cardboard, I noticed that the back here, because these angle in, it's a little bit on the thin side. So when you push down hard with your thumb, it's a little uncomfortable, but more so up front. All right, you can see how these edges, they're not sharp or anything, but because they're so thin, it really digs into your finger. All right, so my pointer finger here was getting very sore trying to cut down this cardboard box. I noticed I kept just changing my positions to like this and stripping it down like that. In some cases I was using basically this part of my finger on this whole area to kind of push down because it was just getting uncomfortable. So, I mean, it's not really because it's small. Again, I've used other smaller knives that were a little bit more comfortable for harder cutting tasks. It has plenty of strength. It's a very durable knife. Again, it's all stainless steel. Well, it's stainless steel handle, tool steel obviously for the blade. It could take a beating. It's just with bare hands, it wasn't super comfortable for that real rough, tough cutting jobs. So I would just say that because of the design, it has a little bit of a drawback or a limitation in the comfort zone when you're using it harder. Of course, you can use this really hard. The construction is very nice. The stainless steel, like I would want to use this a little bit harder, even though it's smaller, it's still very capable. It's just I might throw on a glove or something if I knew I was going to be using this for an extended period of time, all right, just so there's not so much fatigue on my fingers, because it was starting to be uncomfortable in the fingers. But overall, I mean, I really like the knife. It's very cool. These sell for 50 bucks. When I first got these, they were only available through the website, the StatGear website. But since then, I saw them on Amazon. Now they're on BladeHQ as well, and possibly other, dealer sites. So I did notice that the price is the same everywhere. It's like $49.99 everywhere it's sold. So it really just comes down to a preference. If you happen to have a Prime membership, you get free shipping. If you happen to like BladeHQ, you use them to support them and so forth. But you can, buy them anywhere. But the price is very consistent. So I wanted to focus in on the pocket clips again. All right, just something I've noticed here. You can see the placement of the pocket clip. First of all, it is tipped down. I don't know if I mentioned that before or not. Some people don't like that, especially with a flipper design. I don't really care. It's not a deal breaker for me. The deal breaker was the comfort, or discomfort, I should say. But anyway, noticing the placement of the pocket clip, you can see it's not really even a deep conceal clip. All right, so there's a lot of knife sticking up. And especially with smaller knives, I just don't like it very high in the seam. I want more of that weight inside the pocket. For the security factor, I feel like it, it's not going to fall out if it's deeper. However, noticing, and I don't know if I showed this before either, but it's an open frame, all right, very easy to clean. Okay, you just blow in there, all that dust and lint and stuff in the pocket just fly right out. But you can see there's 2 body screws on the end. This is a perfect, in my opinion, perfect opportunity for a pocket clip placement. All right. So not only would it make it tip up, which a lot of people would love and appreciate, but also if you have the pocket clip, you can utilize the 2 screws here as the base. So for the designer, if you happen to be watching this video, or if you see in the future, maybe you can design just a pocket clip that could be sold separately to go with these knives for that option. So the pocket clip would be mounted with the 2 body screws, all right, would rest on the frame here. I mean, obviously you come up with the design you like. But that would not only make it a tip up, it would also make it a deeper concealed carry. It would also probably move that pocket clip out of the way so it's a little bit more comfortable. Now, without trying this particular design, I don't know if a pocket clip down here would be more comfortable than its current position. That's possible that was thought out and it just didn't work out. I don't really know. It's just a random, you know, suggestion, I guess. So overall, I really do like these knives, particularly these two. I just like the way they look, especially with the stonewash blades, but the you know, contrast with the color on the frames. But I do want to revisit that $50 price point because I know it will be the topic of discussion. Obviously, I want to see them cheaper. I'd love to see these at like 35 bucks. But what a lot of people are going to do is they're going to compare the price on this knife to, let's say, CRKT, you know, or Kershaw, for example, Kershaw, right? Oh yeah, you know, Kershaw makes a knife kind of that size, kind of the same materials for, I don't know, 15 bucks, 20 bucks. Well, that's not a fair comparison. Kershaw is a massive company. StatGear is a very, very small company. So production costs change dramatically when you're making, I don't know how many of these are made, but I could tell you nowhere near as any kind of Kershaw model. There might be 50,000 of a specific type of Kershaw, 100,000, you know. Total guess off the top of my head, maybe there's 1,000 of each of these. I really don't know. But it's nowhere near what a production company is going to produce. So those costs fluctuate a lot. And that's what people tend to do, is especially with newer companies that come out, especially people who have like Kickstarter campaigns and stuff, and they fund these new knives, and you're like, wow, those prices are ridiculous. Why are they so high? Well, that's just what it costs. Most times, knives like this, I mean, they don't have a huge profit rate. It's not like it's costing the guy $5 to make these and he's making $45 on the sale. It's nothing like that at all. Behind the scenes is a lot more complicated than you might think. Anyway, just something to think about when everyone's critiquing prices and stuff. Personally, I didn't buy these knives. These were sent for me to try out. And I can tell you honestly, I would not buy this particular knife, but I would trade for it. I would be interested in trying it. I just wouldn't, if I went to a store and saw this at the store, just that price tag probably wouldn't appeal to me personally. But there's lots of different people and different strokes for different folks. I do think the design's pretty cool. I think it's a snazzy looking knife, but I do think that there are slight alterations that could have made it better. Just having a thicker or wider area where your pressure points are, right in the whole pivot area here, pointer finger and thumb on pretty much any knife, you're gonna be squeezing. Okay, not so much down here. This could have like, thinner edges and stuff. It's not that big of a deal, but you're putting a lot of pressure on your fingers and you're squeezing a lot when you're using your knives, not even thinking about it. All right, so, I mean, every knife has its limitations. I'm just pointing out the ones with these. But yeah, for lighter duty, if you like the design, it's pretty cool. So anyway, that is all. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow with another video. Take care.